Hello and welcome to World of Warships, and this is a 10-minute video from the third phase of the carrier rework testing. This is definitely still a work in progress, and I do not have the official work in progress overlay, so I've made my own clunky little wonky one. It conveys whatever message it needs to convey, so it's all good. When I started testing in phase 3, I was pretty much anticipating the same gameplay as in previous phases, barring some differences, of course, based on the fact that they've added commander skills to this test phase, which makes a difference, definitely makes a difference. But I was quite surprised by the gameplay changes, because it may look very similar to earlier phases, but they have tightened up the controls of the planes. The control of the planes feels a lot more crisp. They're responding much more cleanly, and it's definitely a joy to control the planes in the air. A change that's been made to the tiering of carriers is, instead of having tier 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you now have tier 4, 6, 8 and 10. There could be various reasons for that, but my guess is that a single tier would not feel different enough from a previous tier in the way that the carrier gameplay plays out. If you had one more strike plane and the planes were flying 2 knots faster, you probably wouldn't appreciate it as much as the more staggered jumps you get by skipping a tier, and was a bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but playing the different tiers, it does make sense to have that jump. Because you definitely feel a difference when you go from tier 4 to tier 6. You definitely feel a difference between going from tier 6 to tier 8, and you feel quite a difference between going from tier 8 to tier 10. Because the planes at tier 10 are just absolutely amazing to fly around with. As they should be. I mean, tier 10 is the highest tier available in the game, and you should be rewarded for actually working your way up there. And as far as the carrier gameplay at the moment looks, it's definitely rewarding. The planes, specifically the strike planes or the rocket planes, whatever you call them, move insanely quick when you use your boost at tier 10. I was actually quite surprised by just how quickly they fly. It feels amazing, absolutely amazing. But of course it comes with a price, because the faster the planes navigate or fly, the less time you have to line up your attack runs properly. And that is definitely where a skilled and not so skilled carrier player will differ, because a skilled carrier player will definitely be lining up strikes a lot more than an unskilled carrier player. So people fearing that the skill set will be removed, in my opinion, remember, I'm not an expert carrier player by no means, but from what I could get a feeling of, and from what I spoke to some of the other testers in a very late night game, it definitely feels like it's something where you could get very skilled and benefiting from applying said skill. It may not have the same dominions as it has on the production server at the moment, but a skilled carrier player will definitely make his mark, or her mark. Could be a female player. Tier 4 planes Tier 4 carriers, I should say, do not have torpedo planes in current iteration, and it felt a bit strange initially. I was looking for the third plane group and is this a bug? But I think it's a twofold reason. Basically, anti-aircraft at lower tiers is virtually non-existent, and anyone who's been playing on the live or production server, whatever you call it, against this carrier player who know what they are doing, will know that at lower tiers they can maul you almost as well, and there's nothing you can do because you're two men with a rifle standing on deck trying to hit the pilot in your torpedo bomber. It's not good to do anything. I know that's not the anti-aircraft you have available, but it feels like it. It's just... That plane's been hovering over my ship for about 4 minutes, and I've just about shot one down. Hooray! Yeah. But also, of course, the fact that for players new to carrier, it's a more general experience to be eased into the new carrier gameplay. Other noticeable changes is the fact that they've added a combat air patrol consumable. I don't know whether it's just called catapult fighter for carriers as well. It is for those ships that has the consumable available. I'm not going to take credit for it, but it was definitely part of my feedback from the last test phase to try and have some sort of combat air patrol available for the carriers to help alleviate the issue of potential carrier snipes. Carrier snipes are still possible. It's not as easy as it is on the production server, definitely not. And of course the fact that aircraft carriers themselves have a significant amount of firepower when it comes to anti-air, and the fighter consumable will help discourage strikes from other carriers. Of course, it will never, a determined player will definitely be punching through your defense eventually and hit you, but that same player is also wasting, I wouldn't say wasting, spending his effort trying to hit your carrier, while he could be spending his effort trying to be the biggest nuisance he could possibly be against the other ships. Because from experience playing on the test servers, I know it's not exactly the same as playing on production, but seriously, a single carrier in and by itself is not necessarily a major threat to an enemy ship. In and by itself, yes, it can sink you eventually, but it will take some effort. But the fact is, you can't ignore that damage. You just cannot ignore that damage. If you ignore that damage, it's going to cost you. So you can't just expect it to just be a fly. No. It's got a sting. It's got quite a sting. And that means when you're weaving and dodging, trying to avoid getting hit by the carriers, the battleships will have a field day. Oh, thanks for that broadside. Kaboom! And I think that's going to be a major part of the new carrier gameplay, is to actually assist the team directly by obviously trying to cause some damage and provide some scouting, but also by forcing the players or the opposing team to make mistakes which other players on your team can benefit from. I was very positively surprised by the third test phase, and the only idea that I'm not keen on is Wargaming is toying with the idea of having 3 carriers per side in a game. No thanks. Too many planes. It's going to be a world of carriers instead of world of warships if they do. In any case, I hope you found this somewhat interesting, so I will end it here and say thanks for watching, take care, and see you again. Bye bye.